I worked every weekend at my family's store for 10 years without a paycheck. Then they hired my brother at full salary, so I opened my own store across the street. My parents run a hardware store, the kind where regulars get called by name and the coffee pot is older than me. From 14 on, I spent every Saturday and most Sundays behind that counter. Inventory, returns, the register, the books when Dad's eyes got bad. No wages, family doesn't bill family, Mom said. I believed it. I even skipped a school trip to Washington because it fell on the spring sale weekend. When I asked about being paid at 19, Dad chuckled and said the store was my paycheck, it would all be ours someday. Someday had a very specific face, it turned out, and it wasn't mine. My brother Danny is 3 years older and had touched that store maybe a dozen times in his life, mostly to borrow the truck. He got laid off last spring, and within a month my parents announced, at Sunday dinner, over the pot roast, that Danny was joining the store as assistant manager. Salary, benefits, the works. I laughed, because I honestly thought it was the setup to a joke where I got promoted. Mom patted my hand and said, "You already know the store, honey. Danny needs the title to feel settled." I asked what I was, then, after 10 years. Dad said, and I will hear this sentence forever, "You're the help that doesn't need paying." The room went quiet, and then Danny said maybe I could train him on the register Saturday. I trained him. I trained him for 6 weeks, every weekend, unpaid, while he collected a salary for watching me work. I'm not proud of that, but I needed the time, because I was doing math at night. 10 years of weekends is roughly 4,000 hours. I knew every supplier rep by first name. I knew which contractors paid late and which paid cash. I knew the store's margins better than Dad did, because I'd built the spreadsheet. What I didn't have was a paycheck stub to my name, but I had a small inheritance from Grandma that everyone had forgotten, because I'd never touched it. The old pharmacy across the street had been empty for 2 years. The landlord knew me, I'd sold him paint for a decade. He gave me 3 months free to fit it out. I quit the family store the Saturday Danny finally learned the register. Didn't storm out. Just hung up my apron and said, "Danny settled now. My rate going forward is on the door across the street." They laughed. 8 weeks later, Hazel's Hardware opened with the coffee pot tradition, the call you by name tradition, and every supplier relationship I'd spent 10 years building. The contractors followed me in a week. Turns out they weren't loyal to the building, they were loyal to the person who always had their order ready at 6 a.m. Dad came in on day 9. He walked every aisle, didn't say a word, and stopped at the register where I'd taped up my first ever pay stub, from my own store, made out to me, framed like a diploma. He said, "You could have just asked for a raise." I said, "I asked for 10 years, Dad. You said family doesn't bill family." He looked at the stub for a long time. Then he bought a box of wood screws, full price, and told the empty store, louder than he needed to, "Best help in town." He's not wrong. And now the help gets paid.